Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping into a topic that can feel a little tricky for Japanese learners: how to talk about the future. If you've ever been stuck wondering how to say you will do something, well, you are in exactly the right place. So let's get into it.
So the big question, right? How do you actually say will in Japanese? You might be bracing for some brand new complicated verb conjugation, but I've got some really good news for you. It turns out talking about the future in Japanese is way simpler than you might expect. We're going to break it down into just two main tools that you can seriously start using today. So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover how to guess or speculate about the future. Then we'll actually build some sentences to see how it works. After that, we'll look at definite future plans, and there's a really cool trick for that one. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your two new future tools. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, first up, let's talk about the future when you're not 100% certain. You know, for those times when you're making a prediction, taking a good guess, or just speculating about what's probably going to happen.
Here's the magic formula, and it's super straightforward. All you do is take the basic form of a verb, the dictionary form, and you just add either daro, or desho right onto the end. That's it. That little addition is what signals that you're seeing something like probably will or I guess it will.
So you've got two options here. Which one do you pick? Simple. Daro is the casual, ordinary form you'd use with friends. And desho is the more polite version, the one you'd use in formal situations or with people you don't know well. Just pick the one that fits the conversation. Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this thing actually works out in the wild, right? We're going to build a few sentences from scratch so you can see how all the pieces just click together. First, let's make a positive guess. This is for when you think something is going to happen. And for our example, let's talk about a baseball game. 今日の野球の試合はエンゼルスが勝つでしょう. You're basically making a prediction here. The Angels will probably win today's game. So let's pull this sentence apart and see how it was built. All right, let's break it down. First, we have our topic, marked by wa, which is 今日の野球の試合, or today's baseball game. Then, we have the subject who's doing the action, marked by ga, Enzeres, the Angels. And here's our core formula in action. The basic verb form katsu, to win, followed by that polite guess marker, desho. See? It follows the structure perfectly. Okay, that's how you say something will happen. But what if you think something won't happen? Well, the logic is almost exactly the same. You just need to make one tiny tweak to the verb before you add your ending. Let's look at this one. 大谷翔平は明日の野球の試合で投げないだろう. So here, the guess is that Ohtani will not pitch. And notice how the verb looks a little different this time. And here's how it's put together. Our topic is Daotani Shohei, but the key is right here in the verb, nagenai. This is the negative nai form of to pitch. So to make a negative guess, you first change the verb to its negative form, and then you add daro. It's a really consistent system. Now for what is, seriously, the easiest part of this whole thing. How do you turn your guess into a question? Ask someone else for their prediction. You just need to add one single sound to the end of the sentence. Check this out. 今日の野球の試合はエンゼルスが勝つでしょうか? All we did was take our original positive sentence and stick the question particle ka right on the very end. That's it. You've just turned a statement into a question. How easy is that? All right, we have totally nailed guessing. But what about when you're not guessing? What about things you know are going to happen, like your own plans? This is where Japanese gets, believe it or not, even simpler. Take a look at this sentence. 私は明日家族で魚釣りに出かけます. This means I will go fishing with my family tomorrow. Now pay really close attention to the end of that verb, 出かけます. Does that look familiar? It definitely should. And this is the big secret. For definite plans and scheduled events, you just use the standard present tense. That polite mas form you probably learned in your very first lessons can mean both I do and I will do. The context, words like ashita for tomorrow, makes it perfectly clear that you're talking about the future. No new grammar needed at all. So we've covered the two main ways to talk about what's to come. Let's just do a super quick recap to put them side by side and make sure everything is crystal clear. Okay, here they are, your two essential tools for the future. When you want to guess, speculate, or make a prediction, you take the basic verb form and add daro or desho. And when you want to state a definite plan or a scheduled event, you just use the standard present tense. That's really the core of it all.
So, there you have it. You're now totally equipped to talk about both the probable future and your definite plans. The only question left is, what will you talk about first?